Britain is a dump. Oi, bruv. The typo that ruined the country.
The availability of parks, cinemas, train stations, public transport, hospitals, education facilities, theatres, swimming pools, museums, shopping centres, chemists have declined across almost all English areas since 2014.
What do you do then?
Under the Conservatives, cuts to education to the tune of £10 billion.
Can I ask this question honestly? I'm not super familiar with UK politics. Does either Labour or the Tories suggest raising taxes on the wealthy? I am not as anti-austerity as everybody. I think there's a time and place for certain government programs being cut or like FDR did it. Sometimes government spending gets out of hand, but you have to do it at the same time as you raise taxes on the wealthy. Otherwise, it's just even more vicious cycle because it's still underfunded. You don't have enough money and all the money's getting siphoned off by the wealthy.
600 million slashed from yearly cultural spending. That probably doesn't sound like much, but 10 years down the line, the last 5 UK Christmas #1s have been a series of novelty songs about sausage rolls. In this frenzy of...
Are you telling me that the Atriarch community has more culture than the UK?
St Mary's Hospital in London has rotting floors, flooding, collapsing ceilings and sewage spilling out of the drains onto the outpatient ward. One hospital in Cambridge is so dilapidated that it is
Yeah, I mean, it's just so because I feel like I'm turning into Karl Marx. This country has done it in the past with a capitalist economy. They've taxed rich people. It's not that crazy. The money is there. It's the 6th wealthiest country in the world. They can afford to run hospitals. They've done it in the past. That's what I'm saying. They've done it.
There are schools that are only avoiding bankruptcy because every time the ceiling collapses, they get an apology payment from the company that was contracted to build the school. Some areas were exempt from budget.
So, like, if you're a teacher and you need to make sure there's enough money for your salary, you have to kind of encourage the bad kid in class to chuck rocks at the ceiling. You're like, yeah, come on, Timmy. Don't worry about it. I'm not looking.
People on housing benefits who have a spare bedroom in their house could be forced to pay a penalty. This would encourage them to move to a smaller house, thus reducing the overall amount of benefits that need to be paid. But some people need a spare bedroom in their house to store medical equipment.
Oh, that's healthy. That's what I'm talking about. People say we already have high taxes. Yeah, they have high regressive taxes on the poor and the middle class. But that's that is the opposite effect because those people already spend all their money. Like, I'm even pro removing income tax on people under like 70K. USD, because everyone under that amount, 75, whatever it is, we'll pick a number, but people under that amount spend all their money. So it is good for the GDP, good for the economy, it's good for everything. They will spend it. It's only when you get to the highest brackets where they hoard and they hoard and they hoard and they hoard, and then the money begets more money and they get a bigger and bigger slice of the pie and it's unstoppable roller coaster. That is where you have to tax them, otherwise it is out of control. It's so funny to me because I feel like to constantly say that we've already done this. I'm not reading the manifesto here, bro. This is like a thing that's happened in both of these countries, in America and Britain. And it worked to great effect. Pre-Reagan, we did this. And every society worked fine. McDonald's ran. You know what I'm saying? People started McDonald's when we had high tax on the rich. Everything that you think of as like hyper-capitalist all happened in this environment. And people are acting like it's impossible.
It wasn't always like this.
Oi, bruv.
Cast your mind back to 2007. Huge strides had been made in reducing child poverty.
Bro, children should be poor. I'll be brave enough to say it. You know what I'm saying? They're not working. If they're not working, they shouldn't be rich. That's what I'm running on. This is my campaign. Better watch out, Mr. Beast. Okay, I'm coming for you.
800,000 people went to hospital for malnutrition last year.
Bro, they talk about this, but that's crazy. People literally getting shorter is like, you can't have a better sign of huge mistakes in malnutrition. To go from like this level of growth to that is like, you are not feeding your kids consistently or healthy enough food. That's really bad.
When the Conservatives arrived in office in 2010, the Treasury under Labour had been running a deficit of £150 billion a year trying to weather the 2008 global financial crisis.
That's such a small amount now. £150 billion deficit would be like you are the most well-managed economy on earth.
I managed to start changing the funding formulas to make sure that areas like this are getting the funding that they deserve. Because we inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas. Then that needed to be undone.
I love Rishi Sunak, dude. Nobody's ever been more of like a fucking rich boy stereotype. He doesn't even know that he's being wrong. He doesn't even know that would be a bad thing to say. Him asking that homeless guy if he owns a business was just an all-timer.
What do you have? Do you work in a business? Do you want some fruit?
I'm homeless. I'm actually a homeless person.
Him saying, I don't have any, I have a lot of friends. I have rich friends, middle-class friends, working class. Well, not working class, but...
friends who are aristocrats, I have friends who are upper class, I have friends who are, working class, but I'm not working class.
That's another thing is like moving government spending from parts that are like super wasteful and just end up flowing to rich people's pockets, a lot of which is military contract spending, and putting it on public works projects is like proven to work. If you have the government, basically the idea of what a government is. You and me both live in the same neighborhood. Neither one of us is going to take the money to build a road, but we're both going to use the road. It's going to benefit both of our lives. So we take a piece of both of our money and everyone neighbor's money, we put it together, and we build a road. That's the point. That's what works. That's the best thing the government can do. Take the money, public works projects, build roads and bridges and infrastructure. Everyone benefits. It's a great use of the pool's money. It has like positive GDP gain because then businesses spring up along the roads and people's lives are improved. They can be more efficient. They can be productive because they can move. That's what a commie would say. It's like so not communist. That's the thing. I feel like the window has moved so far that when I say things that are like, this is like something that like a dyed-in-the-wool old man right-wing conservative would be for in the 50s. Like an Eisenhower Republican would be like, yeah, this is what government's about. And now it's like Karl Marx. It's like saying it now is like I'm Stalin's ghost.
The average house price
woke.
has increased 224% since 1990, far outstripping wages over the same time period. The problem is we're being haunted by an unholy
Holy shit, that's it, folks. We have to stop there. The UK is haunted. We figured it out. That's the problem. The UK is haunted by an unholy ghost. A ghost? I was worried it was going to be boring economic stuff that we can never figure out or fix. But it's a ghost.
Spain has built over 10 high-speed rail lines since 1992.
Bro.
Most of them much longer than HS2.
America, same problem. It's one thing that I get most frustrated with is that we could absolutely have the money, we have the capability, we have the technology, we could have high-speed rail in America, and we just don't, and it's stupid. And like, if we can't do it out of the own intelligence of our hearts, can we at least do it because we don't want to get one up by China? That's the only thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on is they both are like distrustful of China. Can we do it? Can we just focus on that? Can we say that China built a bunch and we could probably do it, but we could whatever method we got to do to get people to do it? Yeah, make it a space race. I don't care. Make it something. We built stuff to beat Russia. We can't build stuff to beat China. Just get us a high-speed rail to Vegas.
It's not a one-off novelty that gets featured in a Tom Scott video. It's a normal thing that normal countries have. And we don't have it. Britain's cities are more poorly served by public transport than those of any other wealthy Western country, including the car-centric suburban hell.
Get f***ing rocked! Get f***ing rocked July 4th, baby! Can we get a USA? Holy shit, dude. You have worse public transport than the United States of America? This was George Washington's dream. This is what he knew would come one day. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. We literally take a car to go down the street.
May have something to do with how the bureaucratic inquiries required to construct a new tram station can cost more than the inquiry into the Iraq War. A small minority of local residents have the power to block any and all development, even if it's for the betterment.
Government for wealthy boomers is what we have en masse. Essentially socialism for wealthy boomers. complete protection from any downside for them on anything. The entire powers of the government have been hijacked to ensure their wealth continues to grow and is protected from downside. It's crazy. They do vote at higher rates. No, I mean, the thing that's going to happen is they're going to start dying. They actually are start dying. They're already dying. But then my worry, and this is not so much a worry for me, but a worry that I feel about the way things go, is that we're going to have the same thing, but with millennials. Because there's a lot of millennials. And once the boomers die, we're going to just confiscate the wealth, distribute it to the millennials. It won't be that direct, but it'll be like that. And then we're going to vote ourselves more power and protection with the government apparatus until we get old and die. Why are you worried? I'm not particularly worried for myself personally if Trump wins. I'm a well-off white dude with no debt. It's not going to... I am worried about the effects to the society I live in and people around me, and you know, it's called empathy, bro. It's, I don't know, it makes me, it's called wokey. I just can't get this fucking woke mind virus. You know, I need to take a fucking pill or something. Maybe the toy is just broke when they hand it over to us. You know, when the boomers got handed the toy, there was like 0 debt to GDP, great brand new fresh infrastructure. Yeah, it's like we're getting handed a pretty broken toy. So we'll see.
House building targets have never once been met since they were introduced 23 years ago. Not under the Tories, not under Labour. So instead, the Tories just abolished the targets.
It's like when China got rid of the youth unemployment stat. Yeah, it's starting to look bad. Just get rid of it.
The houses that do get built have to comply with the silliest of regulations, such as absurdly small window sizes, because climate change might make people want to open their windows more so they can get some fresh air, and small children could fall out of them. Instead of making windows smaller...
The windows have to be small because small children might climb out of them? They're still gonna fit through a small window. Oh, I see. At the same time, you have to fatten up the kids too. So more sugary meals for little kids and smaller windows, and eventually they won't be able to fall out. That's actually genius. The UK's got it figured out. They're thinking long term. When the entire rest of the globe has a crisis because every kid starts falling out of windows, they're gonna be laughing all the way to the bank. It's gonna be a huge UK win, dude.
What a weird group of people. Climate change is an existential threat to humanity, but don't do anything about it if it means somebody would make a profit from the solution.
I mean, I don't want to get into it. I talked about this about with Germany and the Green Party for nuclear. I just hate being anti-nuclear. I just hate it, dude. And I get too heated, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I just don't. It makes me frustrated. It feels like I'm talking to a dense ass brick wall, dude.
Last year, India landed a probe on the moon for $75 million. We could have landed Britain on the moon 100 times for the cost of planning to build a 3-mile tunnel. And it's not just the big projects that get blocked with the rise of...
But see, someone's making that money, and it's not regular taxpayers, bro. It's a grift. Everything's hijacked to make people that already have money a bunch of money. It's just so inefficient and so wasteful. It makes me mad because it makes people turn off on the idea of government, like the idea of like people pooling their money to buy things that we all need, which totally works. Now I'm getting real existential, but then they like look at all this problem. They're like, dude, you know who's the fault of this is? The fault of that money getting siphoned off? It's immigrants, bro. Immigrants are the problem. That's why none of this shit works. They're the ones stealing all the money. And it's like, bro, no! If we just look right there, it's the dude. The rich dude who set the whole system up to steal it so he can sit around. Here's another thing. Last thing I'll say on this, because we're unpause the video, is that I low-key think this. I thought this for a long time. I've said this before, but I truly believe that everyone actually secretly knows that it is the mega rich siphoning off the money. But I truly believe that people are unconsciously afraid because it's a way harder fight. Why not use summons to beat Bezos? We need to ring the mimic tier. We have to use magic. We have to use spells. It's time to stop around.